Hey everybody, I am sitting in Chumkiri in Cambodia, and I've been in this international facilitator youth camp for the past 4 days. But we're supposed to continue our journey for until the 15th day. We're almost a third way done, and to be honest, I had so many realizations when I'm here. The best thing about being here is honestly the scenery is amazing. We sleep in a tent, we sleep in nature. Every morning when I wake up, I hear the sound of the river. I hear the sound of birds, of rooster around us. We have great breakfast and we have great, amazing community activities. And I've just never felt this peaceful in a while. I think ever since I came back to Vietnam this year, I had to go through a lot of chapters. Finding myself again, finding purpose in jobs again, finding meaning in creating more tools such as more money. And focusing on my passion projects that it feels like 24/7 I am a storm. And such storm would only stop when I'm sleeping. So I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, but I realized that the person that I least talk to, that I really want to talk to every day or should talk to every day or need to talk to every day should be myself. I don't check in with myself. I don't check out with myself about, hey, how's your day been? How are you feeling? Are you feeling heavy? Are you feeling light? I never do those things for the past year. And I just realized how impactful that is to my well-being. On a daily basis, I don't go to parks. I don't get exposure to nature. I don't get exposed to trees. I don't get exposed to ecology around me, to the ecosystem around me. And in a sense, it's really limiting because I'm just limiting myself to the 3 circle of ego, nucleus, and human being. And I feel like that's why I talk a lot. And I've been thinking about this concept of like, why do human beings feel like we need to talk so much? If we talk this much, this means that we're only basically connecting to each other. We're only connecting to other human beings. We're not really connecting to nature. Because when you when you communicate and when you connect with nature, a lot of times it's silence. A lot of times it's walking in darkness and silence. A lot of times it's just hearing the sound of river already makes you feel so at ease and peaceful. And to me, that's connecting to nature. And I realized that human beings talk so much, especially in this day and age with social media. We don't just listen to our family or friends or things that happen around us. We listen to people on the internet. We listen to people that we've never met, to figures that we randomly scroll on our phone. And we touch our phone too much. We touch our phone way too much. I don't think it's normal to get so much exposure to talking devices nowadays. But we normalize it like we always do with things that aren't supposed to be. And the more that I get exposed to people, the more I realize that the person who can teach me the most things about life or the person who inspires me the most are the people who really don't talk a lot. People who are very much keeping things to themselves, not in a way that they want to gatekeep things, but more in a way of they're so peaceful in themselves and their purpose and their meaning that it's enough for them to just be who they are. And whoever that finds inspired by it would eventually come to them for connection, giving advice, mentoring, all these bilateral connection as well as connections in a bigger community. I think eventually it's putting yourself out there too, but not necessarily in a way that you need to be loud about it. I'm starting my social media journey again, not necessarily with the same mindset that I used to have when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was just very gung-ho about documenting my life, and I loved seeing myself on camera and loved documenting everything about how I grew up and my parents and everybody around me, my friends, storing those really beautiful memories. So one day I can look back and smile and be so happy that I stored those memories. And to me, those memories come, and when I don't store them, they're forever gone. They're forever gone. They'll never be kept with me anymore. And I think that's the thing that have always inspired me to document my journey. But returning to social media nowadays, like I said, I think I really miss those days of, Casey Neistat. Truly, those creators just feel like they're just enjoying what they're doing. They're enjoying it so much. They're enjoying creating skits. They're enjoying, being so creative with filming stuff that nothing else matters. Numbers don't matter. Views don't matter. Making a career out of it don't matter. Because to them, it's just a hobby. It's purely passion. And they're passionate about those things. And you can see that through their videos. You can really see that. See how much effort they put in. Not because they want brands to take notice of them. Not because they want viewers to be like, oh, wow, I want to subscribe to them. But more like, oh, like, I really like what I'm doing. And I hope that you feel the same kind of love. Can also feel really good and inspired by your life. I truly feel that those creators were all about that. But nowadays, I feel like creators are mainly just focused on how to give you even more addiction to their content. All these concepts about hooks, all these concepts about how to engage with viewers so they are unconsciously more interested in your life. And all these conversations have always been surrounded by ego, right? Boosting content creators' ego, creating more source of attention towards them, and eventually capitalizing it and turning into income. And as much as I love and support the fact that content creators are fairly paid and compensated, I also feel a sense of sadness when it comes to what is pure creativity, what is pure content making, what is pure making videos, making audio and all these things, because when we don't live in a capitalist world, sharing is truly caring. I've been in this camp for 4 days, and I truly feel like we care about each other a lot. We check in with each other a lot, ask how we slept every day, and just, sharing really small talks, but it really shows that they care a lot about who you are, your journey, what you're struggling with, and they're there to listen. And same with me, I'm there to listen to them. Even though we don't know each other before this, but we love nature so much. We love being outdoors. That intrinsic sense of connection really, really makes us feel like we are part of a family, like a community. So yeah, we share everything that seems useful for each other's growth. But yeah, I feel like being one among billions other content creators trying to make it, I feel kind of isolated a little bit. I kind of feel like the people that I used to look up to, like Elle Mills, Casey Neistat, like those inspirations, I want to be like them, I want to be one of them again. But I feel like, yeah, there's just a gazillion of videos out there that I would never want to watch, but it's so addictive. It's so addictive in its format, how it wires to the brain, and it's like we're creating cocaine on your phone. People know that it's addictive, and that's why they spend hours watching it. That's why corporations make billions of dollars from that. The more that you're on your phone, the happier they are of yay, we created something that people are completely codependent on. And that's what I realized too, being this camp, we're not connected to any kind of internet or Wi-Fi, not any social media. All we have is just each other. And I also have, my phone documenting my life. But other than that, like, connecting to nature, other than that, social media don't really exist here. I don't check my email every day. I don't really keep up with the world around me. And it's so good for me. It is so good for me. Because every day I think I get to cut out 90% of the noise around me. 10% of noise still lives within me because I've internalized it all my life. All these conversations, all these struggles that aren't mine. But I would spend hours or I would spend a portion of time, like minutes to hours or even half my day trying to think about it. And ultimately, it's not my life. It's someone else's life. But somehow I got it from the internet. And I would spend hours pondering it. And eventually, I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Am I really living my life? Or am I just living other people's life? And trying to analyze other people's life. Why do I care so much about other people's life? I shouldn't care about them. I should care about my life. I should care about how I'm doing. I should care about how my friends are doing, how my family, how my close loved ones are doing. And anything beyond that doesn't matter, right? I should care about nature. I should care about the river, about stones and wind, earth that surrounds me. I should care about those things instead of caring about those people online that I have never met and I probably will never meet, or even why would I meet them, right? Like, what context would it be that we would eventually have a meaningful connection? I don't think so. I don't think it'll ever happen. And even if it does happen, there's no guarantee that you're gonna find fulfilling, meaningful connection out of it. I think that's my main frustration with the noise around me nowadays, because it's not really easy to cut them. It's not really easy. I feel like they live within you. And it needs a lot of efforts to be mindful. It needs a lot of efforts to calm the anxiety waves in you, the storms in you sometimes. And I've been trying to kind of document how I feel on a daily basis, like just yesterday. And all of a sudden, I would have this wave of anxiety, all these thoughts come in at the same time. And I have to really sit there and process them with myself. I feel like it's like the inner thoughts of my inner child, of, all these insecurities that just come in, all this anxiety that are created from it. And then the second wave of anxiety came so spontaneously too, but I also have to spend time calming myself and, regulating my emotions. That I feel like on a daily basis, I have these maybe 10 times, all these waves of emotions. But what I usually do is I would usually block them out. I would usually bury all these emotions with work. I would not talk to myself. I would just ignore them with all my deadlines and all my to-do lists. I would bury all these emotions and bury all these meaningful things that I should spend time on. Journaling, taking a walk in the park, spending an hour just walking and in silence, all these things that should matter more to me. But I feel like when I live in society where everybody is telling me what to do, make more money, gain more status, get more attention from people, put yourself out there even more, talk to even more people, network more, that it's starting to feel like it's a storm of chaos. It's a storm of everybody is yelling from the top of their lung. Everybody is yelling, nobody's listening. And we're talking so much from our ego that it doesn't make any sense anymore. I've gone through so many really interesting experiences. I don't surround myself with the same people 5 years ago. And I'm honestly very glad for that, because it truly does show me that the connections that truly matter, the meaningful connections that matter, they'll stick with you no matter what. All my really close friends don't live close to me. We always try to make sure that we catch up once in a while. We don't talk every day, but it doesn't mean that we don't care about each other. I check in with them every now and then when I miss them, and we talk about all our dreams and aspirations and where we want to go. And it's just so inspirational to talk to them, to emotionally connect with them, wanting to be there for them, and scheduling things, planning things to see each other. I'm seeing one of them this December because we're planning a trip to Malaysia together. I'm seeing another one in May next year because we're planning a trip to China together, and eventually I'll see the rest too somewhere in the world. But it really, like, we truly really care about each other, you know, and that's something that I should never take for granted, because in this world of constant chaos and constant distractions, you truly lose focus on the things that truly matters to you. And I don't want to ever do that. I want to constantly remind myself how lucky and grateful I am to be in a space where I have people that I care about, to have experiences that have amazing people come into my life and I can learn a lot from them. Even though we're just a small chapter in each other's life, doesn't mean that we'll continue being really, really good friends in the future, but they'll always live in my memories as great people that come into my life that teach me something important. And that's why I have friends from all over the world. That's why I have people that I occasionally visit when I come to their country, and I ask about, hey, like, how you doing? You know, what's happened since we last met? You know, I think that's so amazing. And I'm just truly grateful. So far, I've been to 17 countries. I've talked to so many kinds of people from so many different backgrounds. And yeah, I just, it widens my world a bit more every day. It widens my world in the sense of the status quo that people have, the life that people have to deal with, the lack in education, the educational gaps, the religious problems and community and conflicts within their own communities. It's very fascinating, but it's also very sad at the same time to hear about all these problems that happen around me. And I don't know. I never knew that these problems existed until I met these people. They're the people that truly lived in these kind of problems. That, yeah, makes you feel kind of like, wow, you never knew about these problems, or maybe you knew about them, but you never knew them from a personal experience. You only knew about them through the news, you know, or reading them in a book, and never really truly knew or understood the true impacts that these events have created for them or their loved ones. And I'm in Cambodia right now, which, you know, truly does have a lot of relationships with Vietnam, because we've been through war together. We have a complicated history with each other. And the way that they interact with me as a Vietnamese, and like how I interact with Cambodians, I don't have a lot of opportunities to meet Cambodians on a daily basis. So this is truly like my first time being surrounded by so many Cambodians that, yeah, I just truly feel like, wow, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning this whole new set of language that I hear on a daily basis. It also shows like kind of an aspect of their culture. I think that's like the coolest thing ever when you travel abroad and see life in this way. I'm learning a lot. I'm grateful for what I have. And I'm excited to live another day. I'm excited to experience another day in our training, in our camp, and another day in nature. It's a true blessing. So yeah, it's, you know, what I learned. I hope that you find some peace while listening to this. If you feel the same, feel free to drop a comment. And would love to hear what you have to say about it, how we're living in this world, navigating this very modern, technology-focused world. And yeah, how to like truly connect with each other again, how to truly orient our attention towards the things that matters again. Just like the other day, somebody in our cohort was talking about how they were in a coffee shop with, you know, two young parents and then their two kids, and how they're both very preoccupied with their phones, with their devices, when their kids are clearly showing signs of, hey, I want to play with you guys, and they're clearly very bored because of it. And my friend was saying how he really wanted to storm against them and take their phones and throw it in the lake. You know, it's just like, wow, like this is what we're doing to even our children. So like, what is even our future anymore? Like, how are we leading the world? Like, what is the role model for children to follow? I don't want my kid growing up to be addicted to phones. I want them to experience a normal childhood, not having 1,000 thoughts in their heads or feeling addicted to anything. Because that's basically how I grew up. Basically, that's how I find life so enjoyable when I grew up. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this heals you a little bit. And yeah, have a good day.